The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
And welcome in this very special webinar, which is absolutely for SME CA firm. It's a concept by CA Premnath D, sir, who is a very dynamic. We are just talking about sir in the before we start this session. So we are very thankful to first of all CA Premnath D, sir, for this wonderful uh, 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 we can say webinar structure, and which is very useful. The what we have written also in the pamphlet, that size doesn't matter. So it's actually that what we would like to tell all of you as well. And that message would we like to post to the I mean the that message should reach to the government and the government offices as well. So we see the bright future of SME firms. So we welcome our today's keynote speaker, Chief Guest C. Amarjit Chopra, sir, past president ICAI, very dynamic. We are very thankful to you, sir, for accepting our invitation. It's our proud privilege that we are sharing the virtual dance with you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We welcome co-panelist CA Vijay Srinivas, sir, and also CA Siva Prasad, sir. We very thankful to you, sir, for accepting invitation and coming on our platform. Uh, we also welcome all our friends, and we can say young and dynamic CAs. CA Jugal Doshi ji from Pune. We have CA Rudresh Pankhania ji from Mumbai. CA Shubham Goyal, very passionate. He is from Delhi. CA Neha Kishri. She is also very dynamic and expert in GST. She is from again North. So we welcome across panelists, and also welcome all the attendees who are joining from across the country. So we welcome you all. Now would like to request first of all to CA Samir Chaudhary, who is from Ahmedabad, to welcome and invite CA Amarjit Chopra, sir. So would like to request Samir Bhai to introduce as a part of our formal introduction. So over to you, Samir Bhai.
Thank you, Virag ji, and thanks a lot once again to invite in this dynamic platform. When we're talking about it, it is honor of all of us to present here in the meeting to hear from Amarjit Chopra sir, especially me, who got the opportunity to introduce the dynamic personality in front of all of you. When he was president of ICAI, I was in my CA final that I still remember, and I have myself personally experienced tremendous positive changes happening in the ICAI under his presidency. Amarjit sir, who has more than 47 years of experience in the industry, and he is president of ICAI for the year 2011, 10-11, was elected as vice president of ICAI for the year 2009-10, having qualified as a CA in 1975, was the chairman of Northern India Regional Council for the year 1988-89, presently having nominated as the chairman of National Advisory Committee on Accounting Standards under Companies Act by the Government of India. He was the chairman of various committees of ICAI. Few were Corporate Laws Committee, Expert Advisory Committee, Accounting Standard Boards, Auditing Assurance Standard Board, Financial Reporting Review Board, Internal Audit Committee, Disciplinary Committee, Implementation Committee, Public Finance Committee, Examination Committee, etc. He is also on the board of IRDA, SAFA, and CAPA. Have been awarded honorary membership of Australian Institute of Chartered Accountants and life membership of Association of International Accountants London. Recently, he has been employed as a faculty of IMF. With such a dignitary personality, sir, I, on behalf of Connect, welcome you, sir, to the platform.
Thank you. Thank you, Samirji. Let me say that it has been a very rather over generous introduction. Let me put it that way. And with Premnath ji around, Vijendra ji, Virag ji, Neha, and other members of this Eagle group. And your topic for the day is very appropriate if you really ask me. Size doesn't matter. I think in the various facets of life, if you really look at it, size actually doesn't matter. You can look at the size of Tendulkar You can look at the size of Gundappa Vishwanath. You can look at the size of Sunil Gavaskar. The size actually doesn't matter. What is more important is how fearless, how tenacious you are, and how much will you have to fly high into this particular world, and how much tenacious you are. I think that's very important. And when I read the name of your group, Eagles Group, I tried to find what are the qualities of eagle. Number one is that all eagles are very, very attentive, absolutely attentive. You look at them when they are sitting on the cliff of a mountain, you look at the attentiveness, and then they have the ability to soar high and high, absolutely with outstretched wings. And I think each one of us has to have those kind of wings that we can fly high. They are very tenacious. They are very fearless. And most importantly, at times you may find them to be very distant from you because when they fly high, and it doesn't matter to them that they are all alone. I think at times what happens in our profession also is that you find yourself all alone. And particularly when you are trying to be tenacious, when you are trying to be tough as an auditor or as a professional, you tend to be pretty tough, basically. And at that particular point of time, you find that you are alone. Nobody bothers about it. And very frankly, I can tell you from my experience, and I think this is the experience of every president of the institute. When you reach the highest position in the institute, in the evenings, you find yourself to be all alone. Yeah. And at times you feel that there is no one else you can share, because at times it may happen that you are trying to do certain things, but if you leak it out, though it may not be possible for you to do those things because the other person may sabotage the entire of your program. So at that particular point of time, you want to be alone and you want to keep everything to yourself. That also happens in life. I think these are all the qualities of eagles. And I think you are doing a wonderful job, because eagles also have a very fine quality. I think you can go through the qualities of eagle. One of the qualities is to nurture their youngsters. And what program you are holding today is only nurturing the younger generation, basically. And with people like Mr. Premnath D being around, with people like Siva Prasad Ji being around, I think it's absolutely phenomenal. It's absolutely fabulous. And when you said the size doesn't matter, yes, when I start looking back at the profession, that what we have gone through, very frankly, I personally find there is a sea change in the entire profession today. There used to be a time when nobody will talk of technology. And today what Premnath Ji is going to do, or Siva Prasad Ji is going to talk to you, is why the size is not going to matter. Any organization, any entity, any individual who has invested into technology, who has tried to keep himself or herself updated through the technology, I think the size is not going to matter. Absolutely, there is no way that the size is going to matter. We have seen, we were the auditors way back in 1989 of the Punjab and Sindh Bank as a central auditor. At that time, when the consolidation of very small number of branches had to happen, what kind of records used to be there? And every balance sheet of every bank, including Punjab National Bank, State Bank of India, Canara Bank for that particular matter, there used to be one qualification always one qualification by the auditors. And that qualification used to be that inter-branch reconciliation of the bank has not been done. It is pending. It is going on, and we don't know what is going to be the impact thereof. Today, you will not find it in any bank. Yeah. And why it has happened? What has facilitated it? It has been facilitated only by one thing, and that's the technology. And there, the contribution of people like Mr. Premnath is absolutely immense. I can tell you that. It's incomparable. I will also like to tell you that we have seen a particular period when we were only treated as, and when I'm talking to you people, because you said site doesn't matter, and you said it's a program for all professionals, very frankly. So I'm not going to talk only about chartered accountants. I may be talking something about chartered accountants, something about company secretaries, something about cost accountants also, something about lawyers also for that particular matter, because size will not matter in any kind of organization in the period soon. You can be rest assured about it. What is going to matter ultimately is how updated you are and how much technology you have actually adopted. You have to have adaptability to the technology. What is more important? You look at the doctors today, you forget about anything else. Today, in the COVID period, what is happening? Are you visiting the doctor? My answer is no. You are having the entire consultation through like this, as if a webinar is going on through the Zoom, through any other platform. You have their consultancy. You are consulting the doctor sitting over here in US, in Canada, in UK, for that particular matter, and you are able to share every report of yours, and they are able to get every report of yours. They are able to scan every part of your body sitting over there, and then they are able to give you the consulting. I think this is what the technology is. And for that, the size is not important. Important is how well you are actually technology savvy. And this is what is the beauty of the entire thing. I have seen chartered accountant firms at a particular point of time where you will only find books and books, nothing else. Today, people may not buy ITRs. Why should they buy ITRs? Why should they buy the books on taxation? Why should they buy the book case laws? Everything is available on the drop of a hat, basically. You go through the Google and you just put it. What do you want? You say cases on depreciation of Supreme Court. Entire plethora of those cases are before you. Why do you require to go through a book? You write somewhere that I need to read the qualifications by the auditors on the points concerning accounting policies. You have plethora of those articles which have been written by the people with regard to the non-disclosure of the accounting policies. I think that's the beauty of the technology today. And that is where it is very important. Sitting over at home today, and I think Premnath Ji and Siva Prasad Ji would agree with me, COVID has played havoc with us. COVID has rendered many families in absolute disarray. There's no denying this particular fact. Many people have been rendered orphans, and many many parents have been rendered childless, if you ask me. That's the worst part of it. But one good thing that has happened out of COVID is we have learned to operate from home. Each one of us is operating from home today. Last 1 year, virtually, I can tell you, I have not visited my office except for 3 days, and that also for 3 hours each. But still the work is going on. Nobody is jobless. I think that's very important. And what is going to happen in future, you can be rest assured about it. And that is where, again, the size will not matter. Today, if you have 50 people, you require to have a particular space of the office. Tomorrow, probably those 50 people can sit from home and work. All your articles are working from homes today. They are not visiting the premises of the banks or premises of the clients. It's not happening today. Today, Institute has been able to come out with a guidance as to how to verify the inventory in absence of physical visit for the verification of the inventory. How to verify the cash without physically verifying the cash. How does it happen? It has happened only because of COVID, if you ask me. I think, and believe me, I think we have to accept one particular fact. In the times, the rentals in the malls, the rentals of the offices have to come down. The costs in the offices have to come down. And that is where the size will not matter now. Because even a bigger firm will be able to reduce its cost to a very substantial extent. And a smaller firm will be able to render the same kind of consultancy. The only thing is whether you are actually adept at adopting a particular technology. I have seen this profession emerging from accountant. When we qualified, I think Premnath Ji could also be in the same era, probably, I will say. We were only treated as accountants. You are only treated as accountants, nothing more than that. And as tax practitioners, in the metros, our only area was of the direct taxation. We are not into indirect taxes at all. Nobody was practicing in sale tax even. And if you used to go to the Mufassil towns, even the direct tax practice was not there with the chartered accountants. Who used to have the direct tax practices? All the advocates. It was only with the advent of the tax audit,
Yes.
because the client started coming to the chartered accountants for the purpose of the audit. He thought it better that let's give it to the chartered accountant, even the tax work. And that is where it happened. And I must say thanks, and I must say hats off to the service tax. When in 1998 it came in, people were protesting that why service tax has come on chartered accountants and why it has not come on lawyers. That grievance will always remain. But I was telling it because that was my first year in the council. I was telling each one of my colleagues and each one of my professional colleagues, minded that service tax is going to be an area of our practice, major area of our practice. And service tax changed everything. Today, with the advent of, from service tax, we moved on to VAT. From VAT, we have moved on to GST. Today, GST has become a major area of your practice. When we talk of the various opportunities, what opportunities we have, GST is one of the opportunities that we have got. Now, one may say that GST audit has gone. GST audit might have gone, but without being reviewed by you, he's not going to file his return. That you can be rest assured. GST audit mandatorily might have gone, but every client of yours is going to get the audit conducted for a voluntary basis in the case of GST. That I can assure you. This is what is going to happen. So I think if you see the sea change in the entire profession today, from nowhere in the field of indirect taxes, you have come over to the GST and VGST. But in GST also, you require to have the knowledge of the IT. There's no doubt about it. It's not only mere data feeding. There's much more than what you do here. When MCA 21 came in, most of us were not knowing what to do with the MCA 21. But what we have done, now we excel in that. I think we are doing a fantastic job. We are making full use of MCA 21 for that matter. So I think as the times have changed, today, the kind of practice that you have, the areas that you have, I think there is an explosion of the professional opportunities. You are going to have RERA. I think RERA is again a very excellent field of profession. FEMA is another field where you can walk in. People are doing practice with regard to refunds on duty drawbacks for that particular matter. I think it is only when you sit back and think in perspective what I can do, you'll be able to find out the opportunity. Every doorstep there is an opportunity for a chartered accountant, believe me today. India's came in. India's conversion from the AS to India's has been a field of practice for that matter. And I think Indian chartered accountants have exploited it even in Middle East. So that particular opportunity, forget about anything else. Similarly, the company secretary, the cost accountants, if you ask me, company secretaries were being only treated as if they are supposed to maintain the minute books. It is no more there. Now they give the sectorial certificates, and their role is far more with the sectorial standards becoming mandatory. So I think each of the profession has gone. Cost accountants, I still remember when we used to go for our audit, the cost audit was mandatory for some of the industries. Whenever we will ask the management, what about the cost? करवा लेंगे यार, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, हो जाएगा. Cost audit में क्या? They used to treat it as if it is no audit. But today, I think every management wants to go in for cost reduction. They want to know the absorption of the overheads, under absorption or over absorption of the overheads. So even the cost accountants are becoming consultants. The cost accountants are entering even in the banking, so far as the stock audits are concerned. So I think there is a plethora of the professional opportunities which are being thrown open. Look at the banking sector today. What they have done to the chartered accountants. You don't have only the revenue audit is gone. It is out of context today. In our times, the only thing that one used to do was the revenue audit. Inspections have gone. What has remained? Forensic audit, ASM audit. Now you are actually doing concurrent audits sitting over on the head of a borrower, basically on behalf of the banks. You are doing all kind of stock audits today. You are doing security verification for that matter. What is important, but the problem with the profession has been, and every profession, whether it is chartered accountants or company secretaries or lawyers for that matter, the problem of the profession has been the ethics. Even the people with competence, I think at times have been found very, very wanting when it comes to the ethical practices. The institute with a lot of difficulty got the tax audit. And tax audit sorted that we got into the direct tax practices in the Mufassal terms. But what we have done to the tax audit ourselves, I need not say anything for that matter. I think at the end of the day, any profession, if at all has to survive, it will survive on many, many reasons. It will survive on the reasons of the competence. It will survive on the reasons of the ethics. It will survive on the basics of the adaptability. It will survive based upon the mobility of the members. And I say any number of times, friends, that our profession has suffered because our members are not mobile. I'll give you many, many examples. A member sitting over in Ambala, he qualifies in Ambala. And when I tell him, you please come out to Delhi, he'll say, no, I don't want to come to Delhi. Even if I am making 30,000 or 40,000 sitting over in Ambala, it's as good as making 70,000 in Delhi. He forgets when he's sacrificing that 70,000 in Delhi, the next jump that he will get will be of 1 lakh. And in Ambala, industry will not be coming. Whereas in Delhi, all other kind of opportunities will come. Even FEMA will come, the RERA will come, because in the NCR part, there will be every kind of a professional opportunity. People who have been able to go to Mumbai, people who have been able to go to Bangalore, people who have been able to go to Hyderabad, ask them what kind of professional opportunities they have been able to enjoy. Whether it is in the field of the information technology or anywhere else, but they have been able to really exploit those professional opportunities. The unfortunate part is we qualify, but we don't want to be mobile. We have to be mobile. We have to, the professional opportunity will not come to my doorstep. I have to go to the doorstep of the professional opportunity. I think that's one limitation that our profession or any other profession has suffered from. And I was trying to think over, we always say company secretaries are better than us, cost accountants are doing much fabulous job. The Institute of Company Secretaries has done a much fabulous job. Yes, there's no doubt about it. Each profession has what happened to begin with one. We were the only profession in this country because we were established in 1949. Other professions came much later and they had to come at somebody's cost. After all, because we are more or less allied to each other. We are brotherly or sisterly concerns. If you really ask me, I treat CMA or the Costing Institute to be a brotherly organization, company secretary as a sisterly organization. This will always happen. And somebody will definitely take out your chunk of the work somewhere or the other. Even some of the management's postgraduates or graduates might have taken away our work to an extent when it comes to the consulting, for that matter, particularly in the field of financing. But what is more important is that if I am competent, my work will not be taken away by anyone. I was trying to see what all we are doing. We are doing statutory audits. We are doing ICFR. After all, internal control, financial reporting, who is auditing that? I am auditing that. No one else is auditing that. Who is even getting into the corporate governance audit? Who is getting into the internal? You look at the scope of the internal audit. Today, any internal auditor without having the knowledge of IT will not be able to conduct internal audit. When I talk of the effective audit, when we had just qualified, internal audit was being conducted just for the sake of a formality. Today, people want to get the efficiency gauged of every operation. How my HR is doing, how my manufacturing is doing, how my advertisement is doing. Today, even they want a correlation between the advertisement and the sales. Today, they want a correlation between the cost department and the cost reduction. everything. And they want to have a correlation between the R&D department and how much gain it has actually given to the company, whether in the form of the cost reduction or in improvement in the efficiency of the production, whatever way you might look at it. And I can tell you, if in today audit you don't have the knowledge of IT, you cannot conduct it. Because today everything is on SAP. Everything has gone on to certain other thing. Everything is correlated. You enter the premises of the company, the moment the laborer enters, the moment the worker enters, his attendance is marked. And everything is correlated there. The salary gets calculated automatically with his attendance. You don't have to be bothered about it. I think that is what is more important today. So if you are an auditor, you are well proficient with the what you say, the IT part. Even if you are 5, I think those 5 are good enough. You need not have 50 people. And ultimately, what is going to happen with this technology is the number of people in your office will come down. Everywhere it has happened. It has happened in manufacturing sector. It has happened in service sector. Everywhere the same thing is going to happen. You can't say that the life will remain the same, our number of the employees will remain the same when I adopt the technology. It just cannot happen. So size is bound to come down. And I think every regulator will have to sit up and take note of it. That as and when the technology gets adopted, there is bound to be a reduction in the size of the organization. There is bound to be a reduction in the cost, but probably the revenue might increase. It's bound to happen. And some of the chartered accountants have gone ahead and become, have started their own startups. I think this is something wonderful. Whether with regard to accounting software or with regard to cost reduction or with regard to something else. But I can tell you any number of chartered accountants have gone into it. And when I look at the job profiles of the chartered accountants, when I qualified, at that time the chartered accountant in a job was only looked at as if either he is an auditor or he is an accountant, nothing more than that. From accountant, we moved on to some kind of managers. From managers, we have moved on to the GM finance. From GM finance, we have moved on to CFO. From CFO, we have moved on to CEO. I think absolutely unbelievable growth. Today, if I go to Middle East, 70 to 80% of the CFOs, there are Indian chartered accountants. It's absolutely creditable and it's a matter of pride for each one of us. And some of us have now started graduating into the CEO role. Because and for the CEO purpose, I will tell every chartered accountant, it's very important that you need to inculcate the spirit of the management. If you want to grow as a profession, I think what is more important is the leadership quality. Whether you are in employment or you are in the profession, I think this is very important. And as any good professional is, what is more important is your ability to listen. You might keep on speaking for 1 hour, but if you cannot listen for 10 minutes, I think you are a poor leader. And then the most important is you must have no arrogance. You must be humble. You must be a leader. You can take your people around. You could be a teamsman. And what is more important at the end of the day is you should be willing to take criticism into your stride. I have believed in one thing, being a senior partner in the firm. If any one of the staff members is doing well and the client wants to give credit to him. But if the client says that my job has not been done in a manner that it would have been, I would say that probably I failed. I probably couldn't guide him in that particular manner. If you want to grow as a professional, I think this is very important. You should learn to take the criticism in your stride. And you should learn to give credit to the people, to your juniors. I think that's very, very important for any professional. But what I will like to say is, to me, very frankly, it does not make. We have moved on from accountants to anything, from chartered accountant. Now we are considered as the solution provider. This is one word, the 2 words which you have been listening very fast. Because in mergers, acquisitions, everywhere, you have to do tax planning also. You have to look at the accounting part also. You do everything right from the beginning till end. You identify the companies also, the suitable, you can say, where the marriage can take place between the 2 companies for that matter. So you are a solution provider. You are no more only doing the criticism part that you have done wrong, wrong, wrong. Either as a statutory auditor or as an internal auditor, I can tell you one thing. Any professional who is not willing to provide solution, he is not welcome anywhere. You might be able to say this is wrong, but you must be able to say what is the solution to this ultimately. Criticizing is the easiest job to be done. Vaccination is not available. Yes, vaccination is not available. Oxygen cylinders are not available, But what are we doing? Everyone sits up and says, CABF is not doing enough. That's the CA Benevolent Fund is not doing enough for the members. But have we ever questioned ourselves as to what we have done for CABF? Why there are only 75,000 members in CABF when we are more than 3 lakh members? We are not even willing to contribute 2,500 rupees to CABF every year. There are lakhs of us who have not done it. So I think what is more important, that applies to profession. When I find out some mistake, I should be having some solution to it. No client welcomes only you can say the person who can criticize or who can find a problem. They want a solution provider at the end of the day. And in the jobs, I can tell you, everyone, number one, I will say that if the economy grows at 6% plus, you will never have job problem in this country. But if the economy grows at a less than 6%, you are going to have problems. And I think these are very troubled times. And in the troubled times, if the economy is not growing, I don't think that we will be able to ensure employment, or you can say an employment which satisfies the people. People might feel underemployed in many circumstances. There's no doubt about it. But if economy grows at more than 6%, whatever we are producing today as chartered accountants, they will be easily absorbed in the economy. I don't find the problem to be there so far as that part is concerned. Banks, IT companies, insurance companies, and pension funds are going to provide a very large chunk of the employment to the professionals in the periods to come. I've never seen banks recruiting those many people. I've never seen insurance recruiting so many people as we are doing today. And I think the Big Four have also absorbed lot many people. There's no doubt. People might criticize Big Four for many reasons. I also may not be scolding them on many grounds. I might be opposing them on the other ground. But so far as their absorption of the chartered accountants is concerned, I don't think I need to criticize them. And they have pushed up the levels of the salaries of the chartered accountants. If they pay somebody 60,000, I will necessarily have to pay 40,000 to 50,000 to retain somebody. Otherwise, the other person will move up. So I think there are many things which have happened, and I think in the years to come, the people who can read AML, anti-money laundering, people who can read Benami transactions, the people who can read FEMA, people who can read IBC. IBC has provided a tremendous opportunity to the chartered accountants. People are acting as insurance surveyors, and people who will continue to do that. People who can get into the valuation part thereof. Valuations are going to be the order of the day. You can be rest assured about it. And I can only suggest chartered accountants, if you can also do some kind of actuarial course somewhere. All those people who have got very strong mathematical background, if they get into that, I think you will be in a very different league. And for actuaries, the size doesn't matter at all. For RERA practice, the size doesn't matter at all. For the FEMA practice, the size doesn't matter at all. So there are many fields for which the size doesn't matter. If you want to specialize only in appellate work in income tax or in GST, the size doesn't matter. Absolutely, the size doesn't matter at all. So I think I will not like to go on because I know you have other people also to speak on. But I personally feel in the years to come, it is good to grow. I'm not talking of size in terms of the growth. I'm talking growth in terms of the profession. It is good to grow, but the essentials to grow would be the competence, ethics, humility, mobility, flexibility, willingness to listen a counter viewpoint, adaptation, working as a team, investing in technology, networking, and mergers of the firms. That's the way I look at this profession in the periods to come. I think from mere text assessment representing work, we have moved on to the appellate work. Now, text representation is not going to be important for the purpose of assessment. What is more important is going to be the appellate work. And we must adopt, we must be able to adopt all of this, we must have the adaptability to this particular change. We have moved on from being mere tax practitioners to accountant members in the tribunals of the income tax. We have moved on from being chartered accountants merely to the accountant members in the NCLT tribunals. I think the future is at our feet. The only thing is we have to learn to grab these professional opportunities. And if we don't grab, someone else will grab. That much I can tell you. If we don't grab the opportunity, there will be some other professional who will be willing to grab it. There are people sitting in the wings. There are people sitting who are waiting, rather, that if we fail, they will be able to grab the opportunity. Let's not provide that particular chance to anybody to grab that particular opportunity. But I can tell you, whether it is me or it is the company secretary or it is the cost accountant or the for that matter, the areas of practice have gone up. If I talk of AML and anti-money laundering, if I talk of black money, if I talk of Benami transactions, all these opportunities have gone to lawyers also. There's no doubt about it. All these fields have gone to company secretaries also. There's no doubt about it. So I think these areas have been opened up to everybody. But I still feel that our 3-year training, if I go through that training properly, enables us in a much better manner that we should be able to face all these challenges in future. But I'm sure that sky is the limit for any good professional, whosoever he or she may be. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. God bless you all. And I can only wish you that you all stay healthy, you stay safe, and your families remain safe in the periods to come. Don't hasten to go out that Corona is going, so I will start office in the next 7 days. Wait for another 15, 20 days. Heavens are not going to fall. Nothing is more important than your life. Nothing is more important than your child. Nothing is more important than your parents. That's all I will like to say. Thank you. Thank you, Premnath Ji, for giving this opportunity today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amarjit Chopra sir, for your wonderful deliberation. There are so many comments we are receiving across all the platforms and also in GoToWebinar comment section. It's a wonderful deliberation. We are very, very humbled to have you here, sir. Thank you.
No, I feel it has been my good luck that you invited me, and particularly when I can see face of Premnath Ji, I personally feel very happy because he is one professional who has been rendering the service absolutely selflessly. I've shared some of the dives with him, and I found him to be too good, very frankly. That's all I would like to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
God bless him.
Thank you, sir.
So now would like to request CA Neha Kesri. She is a very recently qualified chartered accountant looking for opportunities as well, and she is taken this opportunity by requesting and would like to now request her to introduce our today's panel, CA Premnath sir, CA Vijay sir, and CA Siva Prasad sir. So would like to request now Neha to introduce our panelists.
I will only like to say the moment you start, I'll just push off. I have something else to do. So at that particular, but yes. I will like it to be started before I push off. Okay. Sure. Don't treat it as a matter of disrespect. I'm making a humble submission in the beginning itself. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So over to you, Neha.
Thank you, CA Virag sir, for giving me such a beautiful opportunity. I'm really obliged for this. Now I would like to make brief introduction to our guest speakers. First of all, I would like to introduce CA Vijay Srinivas K sir. He is practicing chartered accountant for more than 18 years. He has specialization in information system audit, forensic audit, and fraud investigation. He is providing guest lectures and workshops on banking fraud, GST department, income tax department for students and member of ICAI. With this brief introduction of CA Vijay Srinivas sir, I would like to introduce our next honorable guest, that is CA Premnath D sir. He is practicing chartered accountant at Hyderabad, having diploma of information system auditor and also qualified forensic audits and fraud detection. He is handling internal, external and forensic audits of various industry. He is providing training program and seminar at ICAI since 2000. He is regular speaker in e-filing, XML, XBRL, audit under CBS, GST, and he is a regular visiting faculty of IT department, Staff College in Hyderabad, CNAG staff training, and many more. Lastly, I would like to introduce CA Siva Prasad sir. He is practicing chartered accountant since 2003 at Andhra Pradesh, graduate CWA and diploma of information system. He is presently nominated as a member of GST Grievance Redressal Committee in the state of Andhra Pradesh. He is regular speaker on accounting standards and use of information technology in audit function. He is also presenting more than 150 GST seminar at various forums. He is domain expert and advisor to a technology-based company. Thanks a lot, sir, for all your honorable speaker for accepting our invitation and sparing some of your precious time to our viewers. Now let's start with CA Vijay sir. Sir, please enlighten our viewers.
Thank you, Neha. Would like to thank you all the panelists and once again Amarjit Chopra sir. And after that, would like to request CA Premnath sir to take the proceeding ahead. Over to you, Premnath.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sir, respected Amarjit Chopra sir, past president, for us, not only for us, for the total profession. Sir is Bhishma Pitamaha. Under his guidance, we are all protected. And age, the session title is Size Doesn't Matter, but for sir, it is age doesn't matter. So though he is retired, he is always protecting us in every aspect. And straight away, he walks into the regulatories and trying to protect. You know, the recent example is when the RBI was taken a big chance to give more opportunities to the bank audits. Due to the reduction in the number of banks, many CAs were losing it, and that's a time when RBI has come out to give more options with the with one rule that why the big fours only should do the private banks. When it is opened up, you know, the lobby went on to stop it. But at that point of time, sir has intervened and said that it's a good provision made by the RBI and it is good for the profession, good for the banking. And that interview which has come in leading newspapers given by sir has motivated us to take up this session really. I thank sir for supporting everyone. And this is because the article went on the only one point the industry lobby and the MNC lobby for the time being, let's do not think that I'm spitting venom on them. It's not that. There are big brothers. The only point is the regulators were told that the local audit firms, I'll make it as LAF, the local audit firms doesn't have quality and doesn't have technology. So they are saying we are big four. Now we said we are small, yes, but though we are small, we are not in any way inferior in terms of quality and in terms of technology. And the batting with which the regulators are approached is technology. What is the kind of technology that is required for carrying out a financial statement audit? That is what it is starting with. So what is all about audit? What is all about
forensic audits of various industries? He is providing training program and seminar at ICAI since 2000. is regular.
Some disturbance there. Yeah. See, what is all about the role of chartered accountant? What are all the activities? What activities that a chartered accountant takes up? Collection of information, summarizing the information, analyzing, and reporting. These are the only 4 things that any chartered accountant will do it. Be it Big Four, be it a small chartered accountant, anywhere. The audit area, the activity of an auditor doesn't go beyond this 4 activities. I repeat again: collection of information, summarizing, then classifying, analyzing, and reporting. And this is the 4 major things. Now, what is that technology can do? For collection of information, cut, copy, paste, drag the information from a system which is already there. I can drag it, I can import the data, Excel can use it. However long data it is, nowadays it has 10 lakh rows capacity. And even if it is more, then there are other softwares which can take it. That's not a problem. Now, once you get back that data into place, now summarizing and analyzing. Summarizing and analyzing is a sort of if conditions or sum if or maximum you have sort filters which Excel can take up. Now, once you are summarizing it, now analyze. Analyzing is again, what is analyzing? Is it greater than or less than? All that goes into greater than or less than, which is again if conditions, or you pull data from somewhere else to compare, we look up, and then you report it. What is it? What is with what you are going to report? I'm going to report with pivot table. So reporting comes into the pivot and decision making. These are the 4 things. Now, in this 4 aspects, now where is the question of big, very big, and why the regulator should say that yes, you are the only people who are fit for doing audits and all. So this session is meant to make aware everyone that any big size of audit, small firms can take it up with small and simple tools. This is a message we wanted to throw it to you, and please take care of this message and reach the whoever can reach the regulators. Please reach them. Tell them that size doesn't matter. We are in no way inferior to the so-called big firms. We can deliver any kind of service. That is a message should reach. For that, today's session we are trying. We have designed that session so that we all can learn it and then start implementing right away and take this message at a larger platform. Yeah. Now, as a part of this, we have 3 levels here. The level 1 is very small firms. They might be doing UDIN works and all. So with the basic UDIN data, which is already given by me to the institute is allowing me to download that into an Excel form. Now, once it is downloaded into the Excel form, can I use it as an office software? Can I develop a small tool in Excel itself so that I can control my total admin process? So that, because today there are a lot of softwares and all. Now I am well versed in Excel. Now, if I want to move out, probably I am not able to move out, and I am not using Excel also. In that way, is this becoming a hurdle for my growth? So considering that, what I am saying is, let us start with a very small step in office admin, because the MNCs are saying that we have a quality. Let us demonstrate to the regulators that we also have a quality. Then what is that quality they are talking about? The quality what they talk about is none other than the maker and checker concept. That is, if one is doing, another is, and they have a systematic flow of and systematic allocation of job, which is done through a system. Okay, see, because I am a small, I may not have a software, or I may not develop a big Excel utility. Okay, small Excel utility will develop for office admin, wherein the same data that you are taking, which is already filled in with the UDIN database, which is already there. I may not have how many bills I have raised, how much of certificates I have given. I may not have a track today, but I can anytime go back to the UDIN, download, and from there I can start working on to the office admin. So from that point of view, Vijay Srinivas will be talking about, right? Now the next issue is, no, I am growing big. I need to have a good office knowledge related management also in Excel. Okay, how we can do that? No, I want to have a good management system, document management system in Excel only. Yeah, how we can do that? I will come into after the Vijay sir's presentation. Okay, sometime you may say, no, this Excel is not working for us. Now I need to go into a software. Okay, how do I buy a software? How do I myself make a software? You know, you can have, we are having here, we are fortunate to have Siva Prasad here. Is young, and he comes from a town which doesn't have more than 250 chartered accountants, and you will know what I'm talking about. I don't want to give much about him now. After seeing his demonstration, you yourself will understand. When a person coming from 250 chartered accountants area, he is doing so much of thing on his own on a software. I'm damn sure I've seen the MNC software on the audit, which is 100 times better than the MNC software. And that is made by one person, one and only one person, called Mr. Siva Prasad. If that is the capacity of a small chartered accountants, let us take this message to the regulators that we are in no way inferior to the big MNCs. Now I call upon Vijay sir to quickly move on to the UDIN presentation, then I'll join into it. Yes, Vijay sir, it's now for you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Premnath garu. Let me quickly thank Mr. Virag Shah for giving this opportunity to present on behalf of Connect Easy, and more than anything, to share dais with a big personality like Amarjit sir, which is like a lifetime achievement for me at this point of time. And it's always pleasure to share my dais with Premnath garu and Siva Prasad. In fact, both are always encouraging to any young member for that matter. Of course, I'm not saying that I'm not young. I'm young, and it's like they influence any age people. Okay, so with that, let's start this thing. So I'll keep it as short as possible, because even for me it will be pleasure to listen to Premnath sir and Siva Prasad sir. Okay, so let me share the screen first. So this presentation actually we made out of a thought process, me and Premnath sir, saying that why not make use of this UDIN, because friends, I would like to say the way UDIN presently is capturing the data, the way it is asking for all those information, the way MIC is being generated, I can easily make out the way we started our GST journey, the way we started our automation of income tax process automation, because I can see the growth, I can foresee the growth down the line after 2-3 years, because this one platform is collecting all the information of chartered accountants across India, as capturing all those relevant information. And down the line, definitely, because it's just a beginning, down the line they might even go further to make it a complete kind of a complete kind of database, wherein anytime I can look for any kind of information, including the financials of my client or whatever. So with that point of view, we are trying to make this presentation, making use of UDIN at the smallest level, how better we can make use of. Okay. So is my screen visible, sir?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So just to take it, I've just made out a presentation in terms, of course, I'll be sharing this with Virag Shah sir, so that he can circulate it to members. Okay. So when we capture the information in UDIN MIS, it is classified into 3 different categories. One is certificates, other one is the GST and audits, tax audit, and other one is the audit and insurance. Okay. So I've in fact compiled in between, I think the screen is missing out. Is it visible, sir? I mean, the PDF is visible?
Everything is fine, sir. Screen is visible, sir.
Okay. Like in between, the screen is jumbling, so I thought, okay. So this is segregated into 4 different parts when we speak about UDIN. So it captures certain information with regard to certificates. It has 35 different types of predefined certificates, along with, of course, other options. 35 different types of certificates which are predefined. They might keep adding more. GST, it has 51 different types of forms which are divided into 47 income tax related, 3 GST related, of course 1 VAT related. Within again income tax, you have 41 of IT and other forms, 7 forms related to respective forms like PCD and all that stuff. And I've defined all these. I've put all this information over here. At the end also, I've captured all those whatever information it is asking for. And audit assurance, it is having 24 different types of predefined functions. Okay, and each of that again segregated into general, capital market, scheme, energy, water, income. So much of information. When you speak about energy, they are asking about the units generated, water consumption information. Okay, the macro level, they are asking information. And these are the various fields which they have made it mandate while entering your UDIN. Like say you have to approve, mention the resolution plan when it comes to insolvency. It speaks about the nature of stock when you're dealing with the audit stock, on unutilized fund when you're speaking about the government schemes. So much of information. Okay, and also listed down a couple of fields which you can add to the MIS generator. Okay, these are the fields which are actually generated while you are generating in your UDIN. So let me just take you to the Excel so that 1 second. Yeah. So this is what we'll get once we generate a MIS. A UDIN will have these kind of fields. One, of course, the challenge what we have presently is because of the spaces, blank spaces, which is generating in between when it comes to document type, for that matter, financials. Okay, it's little bit jumbled. Probably it might take little efforts, maybe for the regulator to modify this particular aspect. I'm sure this is going to be taken care shortly. Okay, so if I have this information, even if by the time regulator comes up with a refined kind of MIS, by that time I can use our regular Excel tools also to identify what is the fixed limit of a particular term and what from where onwards the next word or phrase starts, and I can accordingly pick up, extract using normal functions like length and all. Okay, so I want to say, I mean, when we 1 second, in between suddenly
screen.
Yeah,
Kindly increase the screen size, sir.
okay, sure. 1 second. 1 second. Yeah. So these are all information anyway I've captured in the PDF. Like say what are the mandatory fields it is asking, what type of certificates it is asking, what kind of audit. Okay. So out of this, if I can generate a particular, let's say we take up a small pivot kind of thing where I can get what kind of certificates I've issued throughout the year under which of those categories, under certificates, under GST audits, under audit and assurance. Okay. Now, out of this, let's go back to our PDF, because as I said, I'll not be spending much time on how to refine the Excel now. So these are the few things which you can generate, provided, let's go back to my PDF. Yeah. So over here, these are the fields which are there included in the MIS. If to that, if I can ensure that me or any of my staff captures these few in simple details: existing client or new client, who is the reviewing partner, who is the signing partner, what is the fees charged, number of staff involved in that particular activity, in that particular file, what was the start date, what was the end date, how many hours of capacity has been utilized, any other information. With this minimum information, we can probably generate certain reports which will be very helpful. Of course, I've made certain suggestions in terms of presentation. So let's go back to what kind of analysis. Okay, now we can make out in terms of administrative report, I can make out how many certificates I've issued, what was the gross receipt out of the certificates, how many hours I've spent, what is the average man hour I've spent. Okay, so this is, I'm doing analysis, I'm building a database for my future audits also. Probably I have an idea if I have to quote or if I have to plan how many hours my staff requires, how many hours I require, and what is the actual cost I can quote. Okay, considering of course the minimum fees and all that aspects. Now again, who are the staff involved? Because as I said, certain minimum information, if you can add to the one which is report generated by UDIN MIS. Okay, these are the few 5 or 6 fields. If you can add to that, and this you doesn't have to capture anytime. It's readily available in your website, in UDIN website. Just need to download, capture whatever the 6-7 fields you have to that appended to that particular field. Then you can come out with this kind of analysis. Now, how many certificates are issued? Within that, who is the staff who has spent, okay, how many hours he has spent. So I can see what is the ideal capacity, or what kind of actual utilization, and also come up with who is specialized in what. If I'm seeing that a particular staff is more into company's audit, probably down the line, if I think about allocation, I can immediately recollect, okay, this Mr. Ajay is or D'Souza is ready for company's audit. Okay, so he is taking an average of these many times to take up an audit, and other guy. So if in case I have to train a new article, a new employee also, I have readily available certain data, who is into what and what are the number of hours he has spent, what is the experience what he had in that, all those aspects. Okay, and of course we can also have a count of who is the signing partner, reviewing partner, or how many, what is the percentage of his expertise, in which area it is. Because when we speak about small and medium firms, I can't say that I have a GST department and the guy exclusively takes care of GST, or other guy takes care of systems audit. No, somewhere otherwise I have to involve at certain stage, may not be at audit stage, maybe at the reconciliation stage, or probably in terms of income tax, may not be at the representation, but at least at the drafting of documentation, whatever. So it's like, obviously that's what happened, the culture in SME, where we participate in most of the activities, if not 100%, maybe certain percent. So I can have a view, once I have a reviewing partner or a signing partner, to check what is the percentage of his concentration on those certificates. Okay, this in fact will also help out. We made another analysis in terms of how much of continuing professional education a partner has to undergo based on his expertise, what kind of CPEs he has to undergo, kind of thing. Okay. So these are the analysis which doesn't require any big application, big software. The UDIN MIS, which is readily available anytime for you to download. To that, if you can add those 4 or 5 fields, minimum fields, and thereby come up with a simple pivot out of that particular, wherein you can generate these wonderful reports. And from here onwards, I'm just giving an example of certain things. You can probably think of from here onwards, how is that the documentation part to be taken care of? How is that I have to go further in calling up the information whenever it is required? Okay, so I have one what you call a dashboard, which speaks about what are the activities, what are the clients. Then from there onwards, we can start the next journey, which of course Premnath sir will be taking you through in terms of how you are going to use your Excel and probably go for the documentations and all. Okay, so this document I'm going to share to Virag Shah, and as I said, this session is not just about to make a change within 1 or 2 hours. An idea what we are sharing, maybe someone probably take up this idea, they can use for their own internal development, or probably someone might become an entrepreneur to come out with some product wherein they can make a simple tools out of it, which can be probably change the way we start up our documentation journey. Okay, so this session purely is just to give an idea, not to probably throw some kind of whatever we are doing. It's just to share an idea, so that you might also start your journey somewhere thinking about what best you can make out of the MIS. And I'm saying this confidently. I can say after 2 years, the UDIN MIS, what it is going to be generated, definitely it is going to be maybe 2 times or 3 times better than this, which can even better our documentation process, summary process. Okay, so as I said, I don't want to take much time. I would rather happy to listen to Premnath sir and Siva Prasad sir. With this, I'll stop my presentation and would like to request Premnath sir to continue the session, please. Thank you all.
Thank you, Vijay. In fact, Vijay is very good at Excel. He has trained more than 10,000 students on advanced ITT issues in Hyderabad, and then after he has taken up the issues in Hyderabad, a lot of people are joining Hyderabad because of the way in which he conducts the sessions. That's his greatness. And then Virag has accepted that he is going to give some sessions to Vijay sir for regular training sessions on simple Excel. Okay. Thank you, Vijay. Now, without wasting much time, I'll move into my presentation. Am I able to share the screen? Am I sharing?
Google page of Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. Okay. Now, I'm able to share the screen now.
Any particular file you are mentioning?
PPT, am I not sharing?
No, sir. No, sir. It's a Google sheet.
Yeah. 1 minute. Okay. Okay. Right. Now PowerPoint is there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Right. Right. Thank you. So this is one big issue which is bothering many chartered accountants today, many practitioners. This NEFRA statement on ILFS with respect to key assertions that is made in the paragraph that the audit was conducted in accordance with standards. But in fact, when NEFRA verified the documentation of one of the big four, they have found so many lapses. I've just categorized all those lapses here. All those lapses here. It says in that as a part of this report, AQR annual quality report, as a part of this report, they have mentioned that word failed used 36 times. 36 times they have stated that various auditing standards were not complied. And 16 times they have mentioned that about the professional skepticism. Then they were talking about 129 times in that 173 pages. They have talked about the compliance or non-compliances of standards on auditing. This is what the document talked about. 173 on one of the big fours. That big four is talking that the small auditors doesn't have a proper documentation tool. That is, they don't have a technology, nor they don't have a quality. Now, the NEFRA is talking about, NEFRA says that such a big four, they have detailed about all these issues. Now, we are going to discuss about how a small and medium firm can avoid these kind of words onto our firm, meaning that once you complete the audit, not only complete the audit, today your audit is completed 5%. Now within this 5%, how much of documentation has happened, you can find out, meaning on a real-time basis, you can know your WIP, work in progress. Now we all audit the WIP of various corporates, but by using the Excel, what I'm going to demonstrate to you, or by using a software, what Vijay Siva Prasad is going to demonstrate, you will find real-time WIP of the audit firms, not only audit firms, any consulting firm. So when Big Four say that we have a fantastic software and that software is being raped like anything by the Big Four, by the regulatory, and let us see the quality of software which you and I can develop. When a person from 250 chartered accountants, a person is coming and demonstrating it, and a simple Excel can do a lot, then why should we say that we are a local audit firms doesn't have quality and technology? From that point of view, let us move on into a simple straight away into the Excel. Let me share you Excel file. I hope I am able to share Excel file. Am I sharing the Excel file, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your Excel file is visible.
Yeah,
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah, 1 minute. You are able to see the Excel file, which is file log.
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir. File log.
File log, right? Yes. So with this file, small Excel sheet, I am saying the documentation that Big Four is able to do it, we can able to do this. What is that we need to document, and what is that technology is going to do today? Technology is used for two things. One is for document office work procedures. Number two, analytics. Office work procedures is allocation of job and monitoring the job and quality control issues in the job. Then, as a part of audit, as I've already talked about, what are the types of activities that a CA firm generally does, that 4 types. So for that 4 types of works, classification, summarizing, analyzing, and reporting. For that, we need to use anyhow some technology for analyticals. So again, technology used for that analysis. So we have tried to capture all that into one place. Like the moment a student comes into the office, he has to use this Excel only. And how can one person use an Excel which is there in his own system and which can be used by others? Meaning, can an Excel document be used concurrently by all the office staff? Like say, this is an Excel sheet which you can share it, which you can share among the people, and all of them can use only one. All of them can use only one Excel. In fact, or else you can put this Excel into Google Drive, Google spreadsheet, and let all the office people use only this Excel. Now, what is this log I am talking about? The log what I am talking about is a simple day book. For a businessman, there is a day book. Whatever cash inflow, outflow, whatever journal entries inflow and outflow is recorded in a day book. So I am recording all the work that is carried out by a CA firm in a small Excel sheet like a day book. Now, what are all the things that it has? Like say the moment, now someone may say, no, I want the data to be on a real time. I hope you can observe here, the real time can be from a small formula like this. Now, once you enter the name here, automatically the date and time will come. This is called as, it is tracking the real-time data entry into it. This doesn't allow the date and time to be monitored, meaning this doesn't allow a backdated entry of logbook. Okay, that kind of controls you want to put it, you can put it. Otherwise, also you can leave this, not an issue. Now, who is this team member? I have a small master copy of a team members which is maintained like this. I have a small, I can go on increasing this, and similarly I have a client list. Now come back here. Now once I have it, now I can have through a drop down. Now this team member on this client, now he has started doing work. What is that work we do on an audit, or for that matter any activity you do it? Like say he might be trying to give a replies for a for any income tax notice. Now you can write that, you can write down all your jobs. What are all the jobs? Job master you can have. This is a client, this is a employee master, and this is client master. In the same way, you create a job master, and then you give a drop down for the job master. For audit, I have given the 4 important job masters, and this is the another sub areas, and this is a sub area of this main master. Now you have under the preliminary work, you have preliminary work taking up. As a part of preliminary work you take up, what is that you will take up of that preliminary engagement activity and understanding. This is an area. Now for this also you can have one job master. Now this is a dependable and this is a dependable. Now if you have in Excel, you can have a dependable drop downs, and accordingly the person who is logging on here at this part of time, he can go on selecting the options here, which is automatically coming from the dependable drop downs. With dependable drop downs, these issues are being coming up again. Remember, I am trying to I'm trying to yes. I'm trying to say that initially we need to give certain areas and sub areas which we are trying to create based on our office job. We are trying to give the type of jobs here. And once you select this area, then accordingly those things will change. Now I am selecting understanding. Now once I select the understanding planning, now these areas will automatically change. Now this is called as dependable. You are trying to make it. Now once you do this, this resource will start logging on to it, and then he will give the plan. Now this can be again customized. That's how the big softwares are made by the Big Four and all. What they say is, if this particular resource he can do only one jobs. Now for that, based on an if conditions, if for this the job what he can do is again customized, or it will not allow this resource to access any other jobs like access controls. They have an access matrix and all, so with that they will able to control. Now I don't need such a big software. I can do all those things in Excel with a very simple things. I am not going beyond 5 tips in Excel. 5 tips are data validation, pivot, if, then sort and filter. Beyond this I will not go out. Now coming here, now again I am trying to select the work area. Now in the balance sheet, what am I going to do? Now for that balance sheet work, what are all the tasks that I should do? Again, what are all the tasks I should do for this as a preliminary assessment? What are all the tasks I have to carry out? Now this resource is doing it, and the another resource who has joined at the same time in the next row here, he might be doing one of the resource. Again, he might be doing any other area. For this he may select these areas, and after carrying out this procedure, what is the output? The output is this a reporting? Are you trying to report something, or are you getting any observation out of this? So accordingly you will write here, and then you will move on into what are the observations here out of this process. Now the observations are again codified into this improper, say for this improper controls are there in it. Now once you say it is improper controls, and where is it going to fall? Now it will going to fall into various other. Final destination is selected here. Now based on this final judgment, what you take in this n column, remember here, if I am saying, if I am trying to take that say I'll make where it is not possible to form an opinion, this is what I have selected. By carrying out this audit procedure, by this observation, I am a partner will say that yes, we are not able to form an opinion because of all these processes. Now if this is a process taken out under this time and all, now what should I report in my audit report? Now let us see that. Now the moment I select under this n column this issue where I can't, now it is saying the audit opinion cannot be anything other than disclaimer of opinion, meaning based on my audit procedures, reporting and observations what I take here, I'll go back to another opinion here in conformity with, see whatever procedures I have taken up here. Now my observations and reporting is that it is in conformity with the accounting policies. Now what is that in conformity with the accounting policies? Then what is the opinion I can give? Now the opinion I can give is clean opinion. Now it is not, I am not forcing here anything. Now you can see here this is again with VLOOKUP, meaning whatever jobs you are doing in the office, by whoever is coming here on a daily basis, which is put onto it, and you have a client team master you have client master, you have area data master, you have job master, you have analysis master, and when you have all these issues masters and you are only trying to get all these things through a drop down box through data validation. I hope I'll not go into all those very simple things. We'll have a separate session on all these issues. Now you can tell me in what way this procedure is inferior to the way the MNCs are doing it. They are also doing same thing. They are allocating jobs, and they are allocating job as per their requirement, and they have client master, they have various process masters, and these process masters are linked to the resource who can do it. And you have what are all the tasks that you have to carry out is listed here, and what are the observations you have to carry out is listed here. What else we need it? And it's such a simple thing that you can do it. And now how do you submit this as a documentation? Once it is over, once this is all in a form of a, once this is all in the form of a database, now you can generate client-wise, a pivot table for client-wise. You take up all the areas what? Now for a client-wise documentation of all these activities, what are all the documents you have collected, you can easily make a pivot table. And once you make a pivot table, say for example for preliminary assessment, as a part of preliminary assessment, you should gather 9 types of files. That is what the documentation standard of ICAI talks about. You may have that 9 types of documents are required as a part of initial before you accept it. So how do you know that whether 9 documents you have collected or not? Once after this total process is over, or the process is in the middle, like this is going on today, 2 jobs have been assigned. At the end of the day or during any part of the time, you generate a pivot table and see whether all the 9 documentation which is as per the standard has been collected for this particular client as a part of pivot table or not. Over in one shot, you are able to have a control. Now, if you are not using this, that is a big pain point that you don't know 10 of your staff what work they are doing. Now, with this very simple tool, you are able to find out what job, when he has logged in, at how many hours he has taken to carry out this job. You will be able to find out. This is such a simple thing. This is what the big fours are saying, that we have a fantastic technology with us, which the local audit firms doesn't have. So we are the only people who can carry out big audits, not the local audit firms. Now you can think about what is our capacity with a simple Excel tool. Coming forward, you may say that knowledge next batting for the big four is, they say we have a well-defined knowledge resources and a training. Now, what is that big knowledge resource and training things you have? You have a standard checklist. Now, I also have a standard checklist here, which talks about various auditing standards. Now, various auditing standards, what I need to do, I have a checklist here. Now, documentation, you say, yes, I have all this checklist. Now, what are all the things I have? A quick checklist, we need to have it. Yes, I do have it. Now, you say that we are complying with a lot of technical standards through a checklist. I also have a big checklist which can be linked to that log sheet. I have all this in one Excel. Remember, I am trying to talk all this in one Excel. Now you say that we are doing a lot of forensic and we are able to find out unusual things. Now I also have a checklist here to say that yes, I am also doing all these things. Now at the end of the session, at the end of the audit, we'll have a check here whether I have completed all these processes or not. Now I have materiality. Yes, I am complying with the materiality. Now the reassessment, etc. Now I am doing going concern. I have a checklist for it. Now I have who is reviewing what. As per standards on quality control, we also have a control in this small Excel. Again, They say that we have a very good technological things. We assess their softwares and all controls and all. For a simple tally, how do you assess the configurations? And if you doesn't have all these configurations, what are the effects of it? I also have a small template for this. And what are all the things that you need to check in a P&L? We have all this again here. For a revenue, what are all the things that can go wrong? I have listed here. Now, what are all the Companies Act compliances, income tax compliances for the revenue, GST compliances for revenue, like that for all the areas of balance sheet and profit and loss account? What are all the compliances for Companies Act, income tax, and GST? And what are all the things that you need to look out from a drop down box? You can have a link out. You can take a link from all these things and then carry out. Like this, you have a knowledge. You have so much of knowledge background with one simple. As a part of ledger scrutiny, what do you need to do? What procedures you need to follow? Now, what are all the ratios that you have to calculate? Now, what are all the income tax sections you need to verify? Now, what are all the GST companies GST sections you have to comply with in one place? Now, the Companies Act sections, what you have to comply with? All this is given in one place. Now, what else knowledge management you wanted? Now, the Big Fours will say that in addition to that, we have a good knowledge research base. What research you have? They say that what are all the various non-compliances that are going out? I want to know. What are all the various AAR judgments that are being given? I want to know it. Now that the local firms, does they have it? Now I say that a simple Excel can talk about all these issues. I think I'm able to share this Excel which is having AAR. Can you kindly confirm that you are able to see the Excel with applicant name? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir. AAR.
yes. Now this is a GST. Now you may say the Big Four say we have a fantastic GST research. Now what I'm saying is on a daily basis, I take up the ARs and then put it into this Excel, classifying further into whether the issue is, whether it is manufacturing related issue, whether the issue is manufacturing related or service related or what trading related. I am further classifying it. And I'm further saying whether the issue is related to fact of the case, whether the issue is related to levy or exemption, whether judgment is given in whose favor, into what industry is it. I am further classifying all these things into a simple Excel, and this is made available to all the staff in a Google Drive. And whenever an issue comes, even an article student can jump into and decide and make it, throw it to the senior partner and he can decide it. And this is the process what even Big Four has. And a simple Excel can do this. Why the regulators say that it is only the Big Four who can handle the things. And it is high time that we, the chartered accountants, has to demonstrate to the authorities that the systems that are in place in Big Four are equally in place in the local firms. And right, they may say, no, we have a good research in accounting. Now come back to what is that good research in, what is that good research that they have in accounting. Now, you know very well, we all know very well that the Institute has come out with a very good document on FRRB, Financial Reporting Review Board, and they have given us very good insight into thousands of companies' non-compliances into various standards. Now I have categorized all those into accounting standard wise. I have given 300 line items of non-compliances, general non-compliances on various accounting standards and auditing standards. This is about the Ind AS non-compliances. Industry wise we have taken it, or area wise, accounting standard wise we have brought out, and these are all the disclosures which are in non-compliances, and these are all the non-compliances para that is given in the auditing in the financial report, matter given in the financial report, and how is it different from the comment of the reviewer, and what is its impact is well analyzed. This data is given by the institute, which is captured very well in Excel, and the same thing the Big Four is able to do it, and why can't we do it? And this is how you can use simple. And further, they may say that we have an expert opinions. I am saying I also have an expert opinion on various things given by the institute, well documented, and put it into 9,000 row items. We have captured all that. Now this research, a small Excel research, is able to give lot of online, lot of real-time knowledge to the person who is doing audit. In what way we are inferior to the big four is what is a big question. Now we are left out with last half an hour of time. I'll not go beyond this. I'll simply leave this to Siva Prasad, who has. Now we have talked about a small UDIN. From UDIN, we have just enlarged it to a small Excel, and from small Excel, we'll just quickly take it to a very big thing, such a big thing which is 10 times bigger than the Big Four's audit, which is done by none other than a small chartered accountant from a very small place. You can just look on to that. I'll just stop sharing this now. Yeah. Yes, Siva Prasad, you can take up. You can demonstrate how the work allocation, which the quality, which the Big Four say that due to a work allocation we have a quality, analytics we have a quality, and all those things they talk about. You can just quickly run through our a small product, how effectively we can make it. We can travel from Excel to softwares. Since the time is limited, you can make it on your own without, because it doesn't give much time for interactive session. Next time we can have a interactive session among the panelists. For the time being, you can make it at one go, please.
Sir, you are muted, sir.
Oh.
A very good evening to one and all. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. And it is my pleasure and privilege to present and share the screen with veteran speakers like Amarjit Chopra ji at the opening forward, and then Premnath sir and Vijay Srinivas sir. So, as said in the intro, software or technology is definitely going to be the game changer. It was already a game changer already, and we have increasingly seen the presence. So when it comes to what it does to the quality, whatever is redundant, whatever is repetitive, we have to eliminate that. And we shall have the focus on what is being the point that we are doing. We shall be able to install a maker and checker concept. There shall be a dashboard which prompts us to identify the pain areas and then where we have to spend our efforts on. And there should be a seamless connectivity with all the functions. So with these initiatives, it is almost, I'm in practice for the past 18 years. So as the topic goes, the SME firms, when we have seen, we put a lot of effort into all of that, but then whether every aspect of the audit is connected or not, we should admit that still it is not well connected. So that way, if you see the time allocation of a chartered accountant, where he is putting his major time, still the major time is being spent on assimilating the information. We are not very sure whether the information that is captured by our own office at the first step is properly being addressed till it reaches to the last step. Okay, and the way the audit findings are recorded, the way the documentation is generated, and the way the important observations are escalated to the right stage, and whatever the auditing standards that are saying, whether we are adhering it to or not. So I started as a visual basic, as a user of Excel, like every chartered accountant does. Like Premnath sir had presented a lot of templates in Excel. We used to go sit hours together in preparing most of those templates. But there are certain limitations. The version management is a limitation. The file can be used. Of course, now we are able to do certain collaborative editing on Excel, but then it is not a full solution. Okay, and then there is no seamless connectivity. If you can see the way the accounting profession had progressed on one side and the way the auditing profession has progressed on the other side, there is no comparison at all. from the manual accounting to a little automation of ledgers as is done in Tally, QuickBooks or Zoho or some other utilities, to a bigger enterprise editions like SAP, Focus, Navision by Microsoft or some other products. If we can see, they have scaled up into an ERP kind of a thing, okay, where every module is connected to every other module. You call production, you call marketing, you call operations, you call finance, all those modules are connected. But when it comes to auditing, whether our data analytics that we may do in Excel or Power BI or some other utility, or whether the data, whether the documentation that we are doing in the form of collection of records, whether it is connected or not, we should admit that still there is a lot of gap. Okay, this way we are either we are losing our time, or as the theme of today's topic, we are not able to project our real strengths and stand at a place where the chartered accountant fraternity shall deserve. Is deserving. So what is this is where we are missing the plot, and with this objective, I started my putting my efforts into technological initiatives, and then with the partners and with the support of all the well-wishers, it had shaped up into a very scalable and ERP kind of a thing into the auditing world. I will just show some of the screens because there is a very little time, hardly 20-25 minutes left now. We have to have a panel discussion also. Therefore, I will run through the a PowerPoint presentation, which definitely can give an understanding of what can be done or what is a seamless flow that is happening in that. Okay. Maybe we can have a detailed workshop kind of a thing or some other kind of a thing at a later point of time. So I'm sharing the screen. So can someone please confirm whether I'm able to do and you're able to see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. So this is the name of our the product that was developed by a team, and I am the domain expert of a team, and I do provided all the auditing standard or the domain expertise into that. So what it can do from end to end, it will allow us to flow from all the functionalities of the audit. I will take you through the functions. We have got lot of functions. Like we have to configure our work, and then we have to allocate the work. That is what our auditing standard says. We have to plan our work, engagement, and then we have to record that, and then we have to make a budget of the resource, and then the plan assessment. Like that, we have got multiple functions. So the first step is audit configuration, and this is how the software will allow us. So we can write the name of the assignment and then certain other key parameters, and we can configure it in detail. And there is a templating facility which allows us to repeat the configuration over and over. Like in the same assignment, it did not be configured again. So we will define our team, our population, and what are all the checklists that you are going to use in this. From the deck, you can draw and you can put any checklists that you want. So automatically, it will come to the user permissions. So when it comes to the user permissions, you can define the team. You can observe here the name of the team members is appearing with the in-charge name, and certain value if you have to have a hourly accounting of your costing of the assignment if you want to do, and it will show the status of each job or each particular assignment, each particular leg of the assignment at any point. So once we complete the configuration, then what our auditing standard says, we have to plan our audit. So in terms of the planning, we have to see what are all the applicable provisions, what are all the applicable areas, what are all the checklists or tools, audit tools, the CAD tools that we have to adopt. So this is a broad possibilities of the planning. We will check for certain conditions, that is a fact check. Based on that, we take certain decisions as to the nature, extent, and scope of the audit. We will define our population, and we will define our applicability as to what has to be done to what extent. So I repeat, the nature of the audit and the extent, to what extent it is to be done, and the timing when it is to be done and by whom. Okay, we have to define our materiality, and these are the steps in your audit planning. So each of the screens I will just run through quickly. So we have to check whether the mandatory audit committee is applicable or some other kind of decisions. So whatever you have configured here in your step, so those tests the software will do automatically. It need not be done by us because it is programmed. So what we have to give is a fact check, like whether it's a listed company, yes or no. If you put yes or no here, automatically it will throw out whether the CARO is applicable, and if the CARO is applicable, what tools have to be applied. They will get triggered automatically without any effort on our side. So next comes, so this way we can demonstrate to the regulator, whether it is peer reviewer or a quality review board, that these are the applicability decisions we have taken, and with that automatically these tools were triggered. So therefore we can assure that none of the audit tests were missed out. So next comes the important stage. Once we collect the data, to what extent we have to scope our audit, what is the materiality and the applicable risk for each of the audit populations, and that way we can define to what extent we have to do our audit in terms of the extent of coverage. So this way it will give us a prompt of how many are done so far, whether we are still in green or there any shortfall. If there is any shortfall, any less than the required percentage that as per the policy, automatically the last column turns red. So that way we will get to have a feel of how much to be done, which test to be done, which questionnaire to be done, to what extent. And next comes the important aspect, that is the definition of materiality. So we can take our important factors like turnover or net worth or so, and what is our materiality definition. Okay, if you see the framework of our auditing standards and the way the materiality is defined, once the materiality is calculated as a factor of turnover or net worth, we can further tone it down in order to have an increased coverage of the audit. So here, this will allow us to mark a materiality, and this is not a just simple way to record your materiality, but it is operatively effective in a sense that if your audit memos or if your audit entries are crossing the materiality, it will beep an alarm. I will show it in the next screen. So we have covered 2 chapters so far, the configuration, and we have planned. So next comes our data crunching. So we have to collect our data and we have to analyze the data. Okay. So just like how we do in any other data analytical software or Excel or Power BI or visualization tools, this software affords you a facility to collect as much of data as possible. Like in case of a statutory audit, we will be collecting lot of data like fixed asset register, purchase orders, sale orders, transactions, cash book, etc. So this will provide a facility to either upload your Excel. Okay. Not only that, if you can do your audit elsewhere or sampling elsewhere, you can also upload the sample. But this product comes up with a very strong capability to pick up a sample. Okay, then having collected the data, you can select any one of them. You can observe here, few of the items are selected, not all. And after selecting that, you can scope them into any audit tool. Here there is a scoping function on the top of in the green color, where you can scope it to any particular audit tool, like a questionnaire or a checklist or a test or a physical verification or a balance confirmation. So you can scope it into any of your audit programs. All of these are integrated, as I said. So once you configure, that comes to planning. Once you plan, that comes to scoping. Once you scope, that goes to execution. Everything is seamlessly interconnected. Now comes the data analytics. If under this analytics, you have a facility to write your own query. You can observe this. There is a query builder over here. So from the population, you can select a field and you can select the operator being greater than or less than. So you can write your own query. Like if you want to get all fixed assets greater than 5 lakhs purchased during the month of January, where the vendor is ABC Limited. So you can write a query, immediately your analytical log is maintained. Much of the time what happens is, if you use Excel kind of a utility, you will be able to do a lot of analytics, but how you did your analytics, how you draw your sample, that is not documented anywhere. So if tomorrow somebody comes, we have no clue as to present how our analytics are done or how our sample is done. Whereas in this, there is a automatic capture facility. You can see all the analytics that you do are recorded as an analytic log. So the parameters on the audit population of advances, where value is greater than 10 lakh, so it has fetched 4 records. From out of that, we have got to a next level. From out of that, we have got to a next level where we are tunneling it down our audit sample further. If you can experience this international taxation transfer pricing softwares like Capitaline or Provis, this is the same. It adapts the same technology. It adapts as a reductionist technology, where you can put on your queries one after the other and you can reduce, and precisely what is a sample that you have selected is documented every time on the go without any of our efforts. So this is the Okay. Next comes the step of analytical testing. So our auditing standards require us to do the analytical testing. In this, if you see, all these analytical testing is done by the software automatically. So what are the newly opened accounts during the year? What are all the closed accounts? What are all the accounts without any movement? Whether any squared off accounts are there, like debit and credit are equal and there is no movement, or a slow movement, or a mismatch in the opening. If you're doing it in the same software, it will recognize the audited balances of the last year or last quarter or last half year, whatever, and it will compare it with the current year opening balance, and it will throw out. Not only that, there is a pivotal analysis, there is a statistical analysis, and analysis of duplicate entries. So once you load your sales register, if at all any missings are there, like after invoice number 4, invoice number 6 has come, 5 is missing, it will throw out as an exception report. And all of this is automatic. You need the click of a button will get to that, and we can demonstrate that these tests are already put. Okay. And you can also see the most descriptive statistics that are available, like on the audit population of cash book. I am allocating it scheme wise or something like that.
1 minute, Siva.
Yeah, I'll be able to see. Yes,
yeah, 1 minute. 1 minute. You said that you are doing the analytics there. Like you can just go back one step back. One step back. That analytics you have just now shown, that gap analysis and all.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Yeah. So here you will find out certain gaps in that. Now, whether those gaps are linked to your reporting, whether it is integrated so that I don't miss it while I consider for reporting.
Exactly, sir. Exactly. So that is a crux. That is a crux. So at everywhere, it is all linked to, from end to end, it is linked. Like if you run a report like this, from here, if you click on A, we will go to the drill down of that, and there you can link it up to your next stage. That is your audit execution. We are still yet to go to audit execution.
Make it a full screen if possible, sir. People are requesting, make it full screen F5 slideshow mode, sir.
Virag, that is problem is, we can the issue here is because of the paucity of time, he has put it into the split form so that he can immediately jump from one slide to the another slide.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no issue, no issue, no issue. Because I have got lesser time. Yeah, exactly, sir. For that advantage, I can. Yeah. Now, if you see, we have got a scoping option at every screen. Like there is a scoping option here at the top. Okay, like there is a scoping option here at the in one of the columns. So whatever is scoped, like in your data analytics also, I haven't presented the inner screens, but if you go to the inner screens, there is a scoping option. So everything that is scoped will come and fall under this head, audit execution, and the maker checker concept. So if you go here, so you want to put a questionnaire, 7 pending items are there, like that. In the process test, 30 pending items are there. So this way, every login user, this is per user. So once I log in as a user, I will know what is my pending work as on this moment. So if I click on that questionnaires or whatever, I'll get to see how much are pending under execution and how much are pending under review. Not only that, I will have a clear-cut dashboard all the time. Like out of questionnaires 2, yet to be approved 31, already approved 47. So that way there is a maker and checker concept. Every question that was put, this is a format in which it is, sorry. So the questionnaire will be on the left hand side. We will be asked to give our answer on the right hand side, and you can see at the bottom the name of the approver and the doer are fixed. And you can also see the menu option at the bottom. So in the menu option, the approver can click and escalate it to the next step. So it is like an ERP from one module to the other module. From the data collection, if you scope, it will come and fall under execution. From execution scope, if you click on that, it will go to the next screen. Of course, not every item shall find place to the next stage of the audit, like from everything that is done in the execution need not get escalated to report. Okay, so you can also observe on the left hand side, there are check boxes. So you can perform a bulk action. You can select all of them and mark them as closed, or you can select all of them and then mark them as not closed and escalate it to further. Okay, so similarly, there is a pending approval list where we will have a very clear-cut identification of what are all pending at any given moment of time, done by whom, performed by whom, so that the executive time of the partner is not lost. Once you log in, as a partner, if you log in, you'll straight away go to this. Of course, after configuring and setting up the audit, once you log in, your simple straight screen is this: pending approval, go approve. While you are approving, you will have an option of audit response. I will show the audit response a little later, or let me complete that. So if I go to the audit response, yeah, this is my audit response, how it will look like. Okay, so what I can do is response to so and so observation. I may either give it in a new tool, or I may increase the scope, or I may simply choose to put it in a report. So from here, I am a green plus button, I'll click and I will select my report, so that when I am finalizing the observations given by my staff, I am simply, as a response, I am closing it off and marking them to a report. This is my daily routine. So two things come today, I can complete those two things at the end of the day and mark them to a report or then drop them. Okay, so let me resume the flow. So this is how our execution is, and in an execution, you'll get to see the pending approval list all the time. Okay, now next comes the drafting of financial statements. Of course, drafting of financial statements is not the job of the auditor, but still, maybe some of the in some of the assignments, our job may be to draft the financial statements, or even if we are not drafting the financial statements, if we have a facility to draft the financial statements, it is always a plus. Now, the drafting of financial statements you can draw in less than 15 minutes of time, less than 10 to 15 minutes of time. I'm not overboasting, because it comes with these heads. Upload your chart of accounts. Once you upload your chart of accounts, you have to upload it, the linkage to the balance sheet line item also. So that way the software knows to which line item your trial balance that you are going to upload will be linked to. Uploading the chart of accounts is a one-time job per client, because the same linkage will be memorized for the next assignments. So there is a facility to upload your Excel file. Once you upload your Excel file, the chart of accounts are captured. Next comes the facility of uploading the trial balance. You can observe there is an Excel trial balance upload, and you can also see on the screen item number 4 is in red, which means that there is a missing link. It is not directed properly to any of the line items of the balance sheet. So there is a possibility of a mismatch in a balance sheet. Okay, so if you see that there are no reds, there are no missing links, once you upload your Excel, 99% of the transactions will get mapped. But if you use a new trial balance while uploading a Excel which was not already defined, then immediately it alarms. So there is an immediate alarming system. So once you upload your chart of accounts and trial balance, in chart of accounts you are defining the linkage, like if you see, oh sorry, it is not a, it is a PPT. I'm sorry, I thought. Once you upload, immediately your financial statements will come in a flash, and not only that, there will be a detailed analytics. Now, if you see the previous amount and the current amount, what is the difference vertically, line by line, and what is the difference expressed as a percentage, and what is the item as a proportion to the parent. Now, if you see land is some 9,000 or some 10,000, which is 6% of its parent. And not only that, you are also getting the same analytics of the last year, so you can simply spot where there is an aberration, where there is an unacceptable or unreasonable deviation. Okay. Not only that, there is an I by B. I by B is item by base. Like if you see, you have got an expenditure by name electricity. Now you want to check this electricity as a percentage of sales. So if you click on this rightmost button, and you can define the base as for electricity, my base is the sales. So it will immediately express your electricity as a percentage of sales, not only of this year, but also of the previous year. And it will also give a comparative analysis. So whatever the auditing standard says of analytical testing, this will demonstrate that. So this is the advantage of drawing up the financial statements in this. It is not to take a printout and then sign the financial statements, but to ensure that the financial statements are properly drafted. Any drafting errors, we can find it out, and we can do a lot of analytical testing, certain other ratios. Now, another important thing is, I said it is an integrated this one. Now, if it is an integrated this one, if I pass an audit memo, if I pass an audit note, all my audit notes will get aggregated. Now, you can observe a land, the total unadjusted misstatements are 6 lakhs. Whereas my defined materiality, if you can relate, we have already defined our materiality in the planning stage. So because we have already defined our materiality in the planning stage, the software does remember this materiality limit, and whenever you put your audit findings, the sum of the audit entries or memos or whatever the name you may call with, if it is exceeding the materiality, immediately there is a beep. You can see that it is converting into red, and how you have closed this. Wherever your audit entries or the adjustments have exceeded in aggregate the materiality threshold, it will beep an arm. Okay. So there is no way that we can miss. And this is another specialization of this, the risk assessment and internal control testing. This provides a very detailed platform to upload our, we can do the risk assessment of a workflow, we can do the risk assessment of a process, we can do the risk assessment of an agreement, we can also do a risk assessment of our primary gap, that is our financial statements. And not only that, we can generate a heat map, or we can develop a risk register and a control register. We all are signing our ICOFers, we all know that. So therefore, the internal control testing was no more a recommendatory or a part, but it had become an explicit requirement now. So this will provide, how it will provide, I'll just show. So I am taking one process like reimbursement of employee expenses as a test case. Now this is what are all in normal color or the process. So if I found any risk on that, this software provides us a facility to click on this button and I can give my risk. Like there is one supporting document. The supporting documents could be faked. That is a risk. And what are the controls instituted? We have to check whether the payment is by bank or not. And we have also to check the background and the purpose or the periodicity of that. So that way we are also giving quantitatively the risk, and this is confirming exactly to the guidance note given by Institute on risk-based internal audit or risk-based audit of financial statements. Two beautiful guidance notes are there. So it perfectly conforms to that. In fact, the same example that was given in that guidance note was put here. Okay. Now all of our risk findings will be translated into a heat map, which will enable us to focus on which area to be focused more and which areas are in green or in cool yellow. Okay. So this way, the risk assessment, you can do the risk assessment for your financial statements, or you can make the gap analysis. Now comes the important. So as a flow, we have seen that there is an execution here, and in the execution, the approver and doer, there are blue buttons here at the right. If you click on that, automatically it will come and fall in your audit notes or communication. So one very important thing is work done by others. In work done by others, we have to collect the work done by others, be it of internal auditors or be it of other experts, actuaries, physical verifications, etc. So in the second head, it will provide us an opportunity to capture the work done by others. You see the work done by others report. This is our inspection remarks. Some are coming from concurrent audit, some are coming from our internal audit. What you can do is you can upload all those findings through Excel, and you can line by line, you can give a status of compliance. There is a bulk selection on the left. So you may select and then say it has complied, or you may prompt by the action buttons, you may prompt it to the next screen of raising an audit memo. So it will come to the audit memo, and from the audit memo, it will naturally go to the response stage. So as an auditor, as a principal, as a partner, if you log in, your simple job is to go to your responses or to go to your findings. What are all the pending? Just clear them off. Rest of it will fall in line automatically. Now, if you go to the last one, the drafting of the report, normally in an assignment, we have to give multiple reports. Like let us say in an assignment, we are doing a statutory audit and a tax audit. So we are giving our CARO 2020, we are giving our tax audit. It falls under transfer pricing. So 3 CEB I am giving. Now, if you click on any one of them, a detailed paragraph by paragraph report will come. And if you click on to that paragraph again, we will see all the findings mapped under that particular paragraph. You need not search, you need not group them, you need not collate them. There is no question of Google Drive or Google Form, G Form or Excel or cross-collating, nothing like that. And there is a clear drill down. This is the last stage. We are at the stage of issuing an audit report. From the issuance of an audit report, if you click on this observation, you can go to the audit notes. If you click on that audit notes, you can go to the audit test, that is a questionnaire. If you click on that, it will go to the scoping or the sampling. If you click on that, it will go to the next step. So it is something like how our accounting package offers a trial from balance sheet back to our transaction and back to forth, from our transaction to the balance sheet. we can move like that, and it is plug and play. It is plug and play, like because it is on cloud, maybe a few members are working on report, at the same time few members may be working on an finding. So it will come to the next stage, the audit documentation. Okay, now nothing need to be done, because we are, all of our work is being done at one place on cloud. The documentation is automatic. So there are 3-4 buttons here, a permanent file and a current file. Whatever you put it on permanent file, it goes forward automatically as long as this client file is. But when it comes to the current assignment, it of course is restricted to this particular year. Now the last button, the final documentation, if you click on that, yeah, permanent file is like this. So what are all the key transaction arrangements, what are all the board decisions, like that. And in the current file, what are all the correspondences, TCWG, those charged with governance, the decisions of the management, the significant events occurring after the balance sheet date. You can click on them and record them. And if you see the last step of this head on the audit documentation memo, the final one is your final documentation. If you click on the final documentation, you can visit all your audit document into one single PDF file. I have just zoomed it in a bit so that you can see on the top, there is a 103-page file thrown at a PDF file, and you can see the chapters like milestone, materiality, how much is scoped, how it had flown, how much are done. The audit documentation of ABC Limited for the financial year 1920. It's a very well programmed and very well drafted audit finding, audit documentation you can see. I'm just taking a minute to go through the documentation that will come out automatically. This is not man-made. So this has come out of any audit.in. You can see there are around 45 chapters. So if I click on analytic log, I can simply go to the analytic log, and I can see what are all the analytical logs performed over there. Like if you see the analytical testing as a decision-making testing, what are all the values for applicability of the CARO test that you have put. So therefore, if you see, the audit time should not be lost on organizing or moving around or or on a normal management kind of a thing. Okay. So the next step, yeah, last but not the least, unless we have a cool mind, we cannot perform well. So office management will have its telling effect on the quality of the audit. How we manage our office, how our files are organized, how comfortable we are, that is what is going to decide the quality of the audit also. So on the front of office management, you can see there are a lot of heads here. There are plan, performance, meetings, leaves, bills, to-do, vault, password vault, holidays, notifications, all of that stuff. So you can have your daily attendance sheet like this, who are present, who are absent, who had submitted their daily sheet, and see whoever is logging in and presenting the data, they will automatically turn into amber, yellow, and then there is a natural progression. Now, if you want to see the status of one particular user, like I have taken one particular user, I want to see how she or he are placed for the next 5 to 6 days. I can see in one go how my office is placed. Okay. Like I want to cross-tabulate my office. I want to have my client name as a column, and I want to have the mile steps like a collection of data and filing of return, digital signature, uploading, like that. I can see in one screen what is the status of each work. Like this is already done, the envelope has to be closed, means it has to be approved, and this is still under moving stage. These are yet to be started. So the view, the comfort that it drives to the head, that the lead of the office is something that is very beautiful. And similarly, on the front of office management also, if you click on a button, we can have a snapshot of my office, one PDF file that will be thrown out at any point of time. So if you click on this snapshot of my office, it will show you how your office is placed. So this is for the office as a whole, not for one particular individual. How many works, what is the progress for the last 3 days, and what are the coming next 7 days, how they are scheduled, how much of it is planned. Like I can see what are all the meetings during the next week, report. Like I can see my exact CWIP. In the other day, myself and Premnath sir were discussing that one of the client had asked him a question. So you're pressurizing us for our CWIP, cost, work in progress and all. Can you as an office tell what is the exact work in progress of your office today, where each assignment is standing. So this is what the answer is. So this is the total value of the assignment. Either you can give an indicative value or the exact fees also as you wish. And against that, as and when we are performing the job, the other values, like this is already budgeted out, this is what is completed, this is what is yet to be completed. So the whole of the office, the work in progress, you can see at a click of a button. And what are all the pending bills that are to be received? You can click on this report and you can see at any point of time. So it is an similarly, what are all the plans for YTD, that means of yesterday, like June 3rd yesterday, and then what are all the plans of the office as a whole for each of the users under the office for today and for tomorrow. YTD is yesterday, today and tomorrow. You can have a 3-day plan report and you can have the performance of yesterday and today. So this way you can have a comfort of viewing your office at one click. That is what the power of ERP. So when your leave module, when your performance module, when your documentation module, when your risk assessment module, when you're drawing the financial statements module, when your data analytics module come to speak in terms, and it is all found at one place, and there is a facility to upload, your attachments at any point of time. Okay, so this is how the pain points that as an SME unit, as a practicing unit, when we have passed through, we have scaled it up gradually from Excel templates to Visual Basic macros, from Visual Basic macros to standalone applications, from standalone applications to very well integrated module to module speaking ERP. So that is where we are now. So I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. The motivation that Premnath sir had given in this whole process, I cannot overemphasize that. So he had been with me, and so this is it. Of course, I have just had run through in almost like 20 to 25 minutes. I have run through as a snapshot of what is possible. So I'm just leaving the details over here. Anybody interested can have a detailed discussion. With this, I am handing the control to the chair again, and it is up to the chair, and we can have a panel discussion or as the plan is. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Hello.
Thank you, Siva Prasad.
Yeah, sir, I'm surprised of the delay, whether it is continuing or if there is any breakage, and I'm speaking to myself. So I'm stopping the share.
This small one and a half hour presentation will make everyone to realize that we are in no way inferior to the MNC firms. And this message should reach the regulators that we can compete on any work. And the product what we have seen now is not limited to the audit. You can do appeal processes in that. It's not limited to the ERP. Like, if someone says that SAP is only a balance sheet machine and there is no foolish than that. It's a decision making tool. ERPs are a decision making tool. The tool what Siva Prasad has made, being from a small town, and he could able to do it, then anyone can able to do it. And that tool is not an audit tool. It's not an audit tool at all. And it is a general tool for work process management. And incidentally, it gives an audit report. Incidentally, it gives a forensic report. Incidentally, it gives an appeal processing files. And incidentally, it gives project reports, and so on and so on. Thank you very much, Virag, for your time and energies that you have given to us. Thank you very much again. And I wish you all the best, that you are doing a great job. No one else in India is doing. You are doing a great job. Every day you are conducting so many sessions, and you have a very good team of people dedicated. And this only says that sir has started with, we are all under eagle symbol, and sir has rightly started with eagle symbol. And in Bhagavad Gita sloka 10.3, Lord Krishna says that eagle is a symbol of selfless struggle. And Vainateya, it is called as the son of Vainateya. Why it is called as son of Vainateya? It says Lord Krishna is in the form of eagle, and we are blessed to be that. And why he has mentioned eagle only is, eagle struggles for the benefit of others. It has got It has gone to the what say heaven and brought that honey, nectar, and it has given to his mother, where his mother got relieved from the bonded labor. And when the nectar is given to eagle, it has not touched it, knowing that the nectar will make people lifeless. They can live for deathless, and knowing that it has not consumed even a single droplet. Like that, we the chartered accountants, and you especially, you are taking so much of initiatives and so much of collecting, and you are nowhere trying to extract the benefit of it. Such a good job you are doing. All the best. God bless you. Very good health and wealth to you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. My special thanks to you, sir, Virag Shah, sir. Really, I am thankful for the opportunity.
Yes, Siva Prasad, it's our pleasure, sir. Vijay sir, Premnath sir, there is so many comments and so many acknowledgement across the platform, including the this GoToWebinar, and we have live YouTube also, so there as well, and LinkedIn as well. So all are asking for the Excel file, a presentation, and the Siva Prasad PPT as well. So everywhere there is a request, and all are acknowledging the effort put in by you all, sir. So heads off to you all, sir, as well. So
Sure,
just would like to request that any are asking for the presentation and the Excel sheet, sir.
We'll share with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now would like to request CA Shubham Goyal, who is a very enthusiastic chartered accountant from North, to give a formal vote of thanks to our today's panel. Over to you, Shubham.
First of all, I am obliged to be here to take a great opportunity to connect with my seniors. I thanks past President Amarjit ji. I thanks CA Vijay Srinivas sir, Premnath sir, CA Neha Keshari ji, and CA Samir Chaudhary ji, CA Siva Prasad ji, and especially CA Virag sir, to give us a wonderful opportunity to the young chartered accountant come to your platform, and we are here and we connect with you people. So thanks. And we are also running a platform, sir, in the name of Compliance Mantra, where we are connecting young professionals, and we are doing efforts like what Connect Easy is doing. So we are very thankful to Connect Easy, and thank you to all of you, sir.
Thank you so much, Shubham, and thank you all the panelists. Thank you, Samir Bhai, for the present here, and thank you all the panelists, and Amarjit Chopra sir as well in sir's absence here, for a wonderful keynote address in the beginning. With this, we are concluding the today's session, and we'll come up with a more such session for the purpose of benefit of CA form, SME CA forms. We have last year also we had celebration of SMP Day in the month of June itself, on 28th June, where our WRC chairman sir graced the occasion, and also the Central Council member graced the occasion and addressed the attendees on SMP Day. So similarly, we will run the series kind of as well, with the help of CA Premnath sir and other senior in the profession, for the benefit of SME CA firms. So with this note, we will conclude our today's webinar. Thank you so much all the attendees and all the panelists. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.